Hey, what's up, guys? Went ahead, go live. Don't know if any of y'all can see me yet or hear me. Just wait on you guys. Need some confirmation from you guys here. There we go. We got a viewer. Whoever's viewing, can y'all see me? Hear me, I should say. Would be the better. Since I don't have another person in here. Nope, back down to 0 viewers. Well, suck a dick then. All right, viewers. Oh, shit. Hey, what's up, buddy? Made it in, huh?
Worked.
There we go.
Figured it out.
We got 2 people in here. That's what I'm talking about. We can actually have a little podcast afterwards. We're already live, just giving you the heads up there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah.
Country, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Chilling. Y'all down with having a good 30-minute podcast after this thing here?
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Okay.
Good.
Well, just trying to give everybody a couple minutes. I'm live. I went live so people could go ahead and join on, you know what I mean? Because they can't look at us until I go live. So I went ahead and went live just so they could join on. We'll start this in about 3 more minutes. Well, we're already started. We're live, but but I got all y'all's names here. And let me go ahead and ask you, Coach. Coach, what team do you want, man? Who are you hoping you get if you pick first? Who are you picking?
I don't know, man. That's gonna be a tough one. It's either probably gonna be Pittsburgh or the Raiders, I'd imagine.
Those are Raiders should be a pretty good team. They got that young quarterback. He just got signed to an extension, so you don't have to worry about that. They don't really have a lot of overpaid players coming up, so.
Yeah, let's not forget I'm a Fresno State guy. He's a Fresno State guy. It might have been meant to be.
How about you, Country? I know you're ready to get out them Bengals.
Yeah, I'm hoping my Raiders are available when I get the chance to pick.
Oh, so both of y'all want the Raiders. Okay. This is a pretty big list. I think this list is bigger than last year, if I remember right. Coach, you were in the draft last year. Isn't that more teams to choose from, or am I mistaken? 12.
Like 9 last year. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a little more.
Including the Super Bowl champions and the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, which I know is going to be everybody's favorite rookie quarterback, not named Baker Mayfield, or maybe even named Baker Mayfield because that 95 speed. So we'll see. All right, guys. Now, about to do this in about 1 or 2 more minutes. What I'm going to do is I got a randomizer here on my phone. Last year I did it through the computer, but it makes it move really slow. So I'm hoping you guys trust me enough. What was I saying? Sorry, I got a text message. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit randomize, take a screenshot live, post it in the chat live. Can't get any more accurate than that. I mean, I got everybody on here just to let y'all know. We got Semicolon. He put his Steelers in. Coach Martin, put your Seahawks in. Although, to be fair, Coach, the Seahawks cap probably isn't going to be as bad. They let go of everybody.
Oh, yeah. I'm never a Seahawks fan, man. I obviously was holding on to him thinking Lacey was going to come back. But since he's not coming back, we're going to go ahead and let those guys go.
Understood. Matt Hunsucker put his Cardinals in. Polyps is getting tired of getting beat up in the NFC North, so he went ahead and put the Bears in. Welcome to whoever's coming back to see me in the NFC North. Kane, you put your Bengals in. Got tired of the poor upper management up there, I guess, and Andy Dalton and no line.
Yeah.
Diego went ahead and put the Texans in. I think that's a dark horse. That would be one of my top teams, honestly. As Coach Wells knows, in ASL, I'm giving him the Browns and taking his Texans. So I like the idea of the Texans. That's a dark horse team for me.
Oh, yeah, they'll definitely be up on top of the list for sure. I think they're top 3 up there for sure.
Marv put his Ravens in and Lamar Jackson, which was a pretty big surprise to me. I think he was more worried about Lamar Jackson's accuracy might not be up to par, which in all fairness, it's probably not. JDM put his Raiders in, which seems to be a top team for at least you two, so that's going to be interesting. Hain put the Jets in. Isn't as bad as it was last year, especially since they got Jarrett McKinnon, Sam Darnold. They got a couple pieces now. The safety from last year, they got a few pieces to play with, actually. So I don't think they're as in a bad a position as they might have been last year drafting. Let's see here. Magic put his Colts in. I know specifically he put his Colts in just for the chance to get the Ravens. So we'll see if that backfires on him. King of the Northwest put the Eagles in. He was never a fan of the Eagles. He does not like being the Eagles. He said from the rip he was getting rid of the Eagles. So the Super Bowl champions are going to be in the draft. Whoever picks them is going to have a tough time with cap space, I assume. It's going to be a lot of players to sign and not a lot of money. And last but not least, Grace Windu put the Redskins in, which in my opinion is probably draft here. Just because they have Alex Smith signed for 4 years. That's a tough sell. They don't really have a new quarterback coming. They don't have any exciting players. They my opinion, they just don't seem like a fun Madden team to use. Everybody agree with that? You agree with that, Country?
I agree, and I think a lot of people are not gonna be thrilled with the idea of being in the division with Pink.
And the Redskins at that. So it's not just – it's the worst team in a division with Pink. Now, to say that about Pink, Pink has been bad at Madden in previous Maddens. He's not always been the juggernaut he is, just like I was bad last year. Pink was bad the year before, never making the playoffs. He just last year started his ascension. So there's a chance that Pink isn't going to be the player he was. And always we have our always evolving rules to try and make parity more of a thing in this league because we don't like seeing the same person win all the time. We want it to be fair. In my opinion, I've said this from the rip, you shouldn't be going 16-0 if you're playing right. That's just the reality because sometimes things don't go your way. Then this is not a shot at Pink, it's just how I feel. If you're going 16-0, you're probably doing some stuff that might not, there's a reason why there's no randomness in your games. It's because you got the money plays, you know what you're doing. Again, not a shot at Pink, just a shot at, I've said that when I started the league, that our goal has always been parity and no 16-0 teams winning Super Bowl should happen if we're doing it right, which we had one. So we'll obviously try and address that and make it a little bit more parity. What's up there, BM?
Not much, you. My mic working?
Not much. Yeah, it's working. We're good to go. All right.
My camera's not working. That's the only thing.
So we got 9 viewers. We got you guys on. We'll go ahead and knock this out, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about these gameplay improvements for a good 15, 20 minutes. But I know everybody watching is mostly excited about their new teams, at least 12 of y'all. So, all right, let's go ahead and get it done. This is the hard part. As you can see, I'm going to hit randomize on here. And we got the list. I'm taking Coach, you are not going to be happy. I'm taking the screenshot, and I am posting it. And I am posting it in the chat right now.
Oh, shit.
Let's go ahead and go with this list. Polyps, number 1. So the ex-Bears owner gets first choice over every team. The 0-16 Bears owner. We'll see how he does. Number 2, Diego. So Ravens is going to have a good shot. Matt Hunsucker, 3. Country King, congratulations on being 4.
Yes.
King of the Northwest, 5. JDM, 6. Magic, the Colts owner, 7. Grace Windu, 8. Semicolon, his real name is Josh. The old Steelers owner is going to be 9. Marv, 10. Haim Buddha, 11. And finally, last but not least, Coach, welcome to the Redskins. I'm sure that's my I'm guessing, just pure speculation. I'm sorry, Coach. That's the luck of the draw, man. You were first last year, last this year. That's rough. Before we go forward, Coach.
He quit, looks like. He just
Coach,
frozen.
He's not. You here? He's still flicking us off. Are you here, Coach?
Oh, yeah, I just thought I'd leave it there for a while. Maybe pretend I was fucking frozen.
Coach, go ahead. What are your thoughts on this? Go ahead. You're last. You're 12th. You're going to have the last team in the draft here. I know, to be honest, though, I know you like building teams, so I don't think this is as big of a huge thing to you as it is to some other people. Go ahead and say your thoughts on it, though.
Hey, I mean, it kind of makes it easy, to be honest with you. I don't have to pick. So I'll just wait and figure out who gets left to me, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll enjoy building a team. It was, I was the Bills for a lot of fucking years, so it's not going to get much worse than that. So we'll be good.
Plus, you're going to have a lot of money, probably more than the Eagles guy's going to have. Whoever gets that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough build, but the team's already built, so you're just going to have to maintain them. Fair enough, Coach. Can we go ahead and slate you in for the team draft next season already? Just go ahead and throw you in there. I think we can. All right, Country, let's go ahead and talk you first. You got fourth. Looks like you're going to have a good little slate of choices here. Who are you going?
Who are
you got? They're listed. Country, what are your thoughts on being fourth here?
Being fourth, I like my chances considering what's in there. I still would get a team that I'd be more thrilled with than I was with Cincy.
Fair enough.
So I can see where he can either pick to me, for him, it's going to be either the Texans or the Raiders are probably going to be one of those two people. I say the Eagles and Seahawks are going away, the first two.
I'm going to go, I think the Texans are going to go by 3 at max. I don't think the Texans are going to be there.
Texans also, yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know who Paul's going to pick. I mean, the number one team people are going to want is probably going to be the Ravens. I don't know if Paul's going to choose it because he doesn't.
Oh, yeah, he does like the young quarterbacks, doesn't he?
Well, he did not like Mike Trubisky, so we'll see. Interesting. Sorry, Coach. The fact that you actually joined it hurts my heart that you have to be 12th. So,
Don't let it hurt your heart. Hopefully I wind up in the group with Pink since everybody else wants to duck my man. I can't wait to get over there.
I hope too. You actually have some mild success against your. I know Pink is in you, Pink, and Lamarck all are friends in real life, so you guys actually have some mild success against each other. So should be pretty interesting. I know you had some good games with Lamarck last year, especially when he had his 14-2 run with the. That was he had a good season that year. Honestly, should have been probably Super Bowl champs. Got upended by Pink. Destroyed me in the playoffs. Thinking converted a 4th and 22 to beat me in the playoffs, but is what it is.
They're both pretty good, man. So I don't think I'm moving to a superior division or anything like that. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see what team I get, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay. Well, Polyps is up on the clock. So whenever you're ready to.
Before we go there, how are we doing this team selection? Will they get done with it tonight so I know where we're at, or how's that going to work out?
As soon as we'll just do it in order. As soon as they pick, they're good to go, man. So I just got to wait for them to pick. In all honesty,
it can go quick or it can go slow, like how our WWE thing went.
Yep. Well, hopefully not that one. I'm going to go ahead and paste the teams right now. All right. And those are the choices. All right. Let's go on to the next thing. Let's go on to Madden, actually talking about Madden stuff now that is more interesting to me and BM. Probably going to be interesting to Coach now because he's going to have to build a team. The released gameplay and franchise. Have y'all had a chance to take a look at that? Have you? You probably haven't, BM. Of course, you haven't, BM.
I'm looking right now. I'm trying to.
Country Kane, did you see any of the released information about Madden so far? The new gameplay enhancements and the franchise mode enhancements specifically. Kane?
Oh, I have, yeah.
Okay, Coach, have you had a chance to look at all the enhancements in Madden coming up? The gameplay and franchise mode? No?
I saw an article, but I haven't read up on it as much as you guys, I'm sure.
That article was pretty much the gist of the franchise mode, in all honesty. So I know what you're talking about, and that was the gist of the changes.
Okay, well, yeah.
Some of that shit seems cool.
Yeah, some of it does. Some of the gameplay improvements, they supposedly the motion is changed, the running motions and stuff. So like, it's supposed to be more of a, you can, I don't know if you guys experienced this like I did last year, but you're trying to run through the line and maybe try and do a cut back up the middle, and it's does a stupid super long juke and you get tackled during the juke animation. That's supposed to be gone. They're supposed to have a one cut. You're supposed to be able to, instead of running into the back, this is all speculation. To be fair, I've heard about this in Madden after Madden after Madden about how this is not going to be the case, and it usually is. But supposedly they worked on when you're running up the gut, you don't have to just butt hump your lineman anymore. I think we've mentioned this probably in the last 2 Madden podcasts that we bring up for gameplay improvements. So that's one of the things. They also added some new ratings such as short, middle, and deep route running ratings, quarterback sack ratings where they can shrug off people in the pocket, a throw under pressure rating for quarterbacks. I think those are the main improvements. This is all gameplay again, so we're starting with gameplay. Kane, any of this interest you? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
I especially like the fact that like you can see what a player's rating is based on like how they fit in your scheme.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big plus.
Mm-hmm. Scheme rating, yeah. That's when we get into the franchise. Yeah, that's going to be a huge change. We'll see how that goes. BM, what are your thoughts on just the gameplay improvements? The new rushing mechanics, apparently.
It's probably gonna be better because last time when you said you do the long jump, every time I did that, my guy would get hit and fumble. So hopefully, that stops me from fumbling every time I do a cut.
Yeah, supposedly that's all revamped to the amount of hits, the carrying, and all that. Yeah. Some other changes that were a little bit more hidden, you'd have to actually research it for, like I did, unfortunately, as I spend too much time doing this, is the new carrying animation. If you put it like what I did last year, what a lot of people did was we just threw it on conservative, don't have to worry about fumbling. You don't really lose anything if you do. This year, if you put the carrying on conservative, you lose the ability to do cuts. So you can't do the jukes and you can't do the spins if you have it on conservative. It's mostly just tucking the ball in and going through, which is a huge improvement in my opinion. Another one of the improvements they had is if you put pass rush on aggressive, like a lot of people did last year, it'll hurt you against the run. So much like real life, if you're too aggressive passing, you're going to give up those middle runs. I'm not sure how it affects the screen passes. It didn't really say anything about that, but I assume it would probably do something against that too. That's basic football knowledge. Coach, you should appreciate something like that. That's if you're too aggressive on the pass, how does that affect the run in real life?
It depends on your attack, but I mean, ultimately it leaves you vulnerable. So I like the idea. Some of the things that concern me are the things I've read about the new running animations. I just know when they bring out these new animations, a lot of times they're very arcadey, and you'll start to see that one damn move 5,000 times in a game. And I hope that's not the case with this new improvement.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, too. We've seen that 2 years ago with the aggressive catch animations, which were overpowered. And then we saw it last year with the jukes and everything that were overpowered. Another thing that I heard is as long as your player's pursuit isn't 25 less than the ball carrier's move that he's using, the juke, the spin, or whatever, you cannot manually be faked out. So let's say you're using a linebacker like so many people in our league do, and you are manually going over there, you're not going to manually get your feet broke. Like I use Harrison Smith and I come down to make the tackle sometimes. No longer will Harrison Smith manually be juked out of his feet, even though I know what's coming. So it might make it a little bit more better to use the man coverages in such instances so you're not worried about what's going to happen. Supposedly the zones have been say again?
One of the things I saw in one of the videos when they were showing Griffin with the nub making that tackle, they show a lot more body contact. So I think even when you're making your juke, it's still body contact and giving you somewhat of a slowed down progress, I hope. But at least that's what it looked like in the video.
Yeah, I hope so too. I will say congratulations, Madden, on putting Griffin's nub in there. I hope it didn't take too long to do that. I feel like you probably spent a good amount of assets doing that. Because he's going to have, not only do you have to worry about that, you have to worry about people put him in a quarterback. Like, is that nub going to throw bombs? I'm so confused here. I don't know what's going to go on.
I just want to see the first user pick. I just want to see the first user pick with the nub.
One-handed. Just, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know how they're going to do that. I feel like they had to spend a lot of time doing that with his little nub. But thanks, Madden, I guess. I mean, I hope you didn't sacrifice it. It's cool. I just, again, how many resources, how long did it take them to implement that when they could have been implementing? That's a cool thing to put in.
Did they do the same thing with the
JPP? No, they did not. He has all 5 of his fingers.
Oh, well, maybe they'll change that in 19 as well.
Well, it's
the club.
It's not inspiring for him because he blew it up on the 4th of July. It's not inspiring. He didn't grow up with that. Shaquille, it's a selling point. Let's be honest. It's a selling point, man. Yeah. Dude is inspiring. Like, hey, drafted in the NFL, you know, with only one hand. That's crazy. That's ridiculous, you know. Agreed. He deserves it. Not saying he doesn't deserve it, but, you know, cool that Madden got it in. We'll see how.
Career, so let's see if he can take it to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he did have a great draft day, not draft day, the combine. So we'll see. But yeah, that's another.
Him going to a team where his brother is, and I think him going to that team with his brother is going to help him more than anything.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But anyways, what was I saying now?
Move on to the next topic now. We're going to cover we'll talk a little bit about franchise mode and the new additions there.
We'll talk about franchise mode and the new additions there. One more thing I wanted to bring up. I was watching an interview with the guy that they kept on there, the old ex-college lineman. What is his name? I know his name. The dude that got left behind anyways. He was an ex-lineman. Name's on the tip of my tongue right now. Regardless, he said somebody asked him a question if some of these ridiculously low pass interceptions would be had that we see so much in Madden, and he confirmed that something that I've been saying all along. It's not the defense, it's not the jumping that's the problem. It's the ball trajectory. It hasn't been worked on this year. He admitted that. And he said why is because if they start messing with the ball trajectory, it starts breaking other parts of the game, according to him. Clint Oldenburg, that's his name, by the way. He said it starts breaking other parts of the game, but they realize that that's a problem. The ball trajectory is just completely off in Madden, but they're afraid to fix it because they're afraid it will cause more problems. And by more problems, I'm assuming meaning less user interceptions, which, from what I've heard from EA Play, the people that went there and played, the user interceptions are going to be way down because it's just harder to do this year. It's probably from what I hear, it's the hardest it's ever been. So that's cool to people like me who think that users are a little overpowered, especially linebackers. We'll see how that goes, though. Again, overpowered. Until we get the game in our hands, everything sounds good. Madden does a great job of sounding great. When you get the game in your hand, it's going to be useless. Let's go to franchise mode now.
Start celebrating too now in the end zone.
Oh yeah, we can celebrate now too, guys. I can do my duck goose with the Vikings.
I'll just do spikes. That's all I can do.
Gronk spikes, yeah. Let's go to franchise mode. The new improvements to that. There were. Let's start the schemes. Obviously, they're going to be scheme fits. So you'll get extra XP if people fit your scheme, which is kind of cool. I like the thought of that. One huge thing that I like is they took away XP for individual stats, and now I think I mentioned this last year. I thought it was broken. They needed to do groupings, like you get a group, and they did something very similar to what I was asking for, maybe even better than what I thought they should have done, which I'm cool with. And now it gives random stats in a grouping, which is very good. I like it. I like the way they're doing that. It needed to go away. It was too easy to build your players and still have them be 70, but superstars, if that makes sense. Like, their stats wouldn't show that they're awesome, but their overalls would be really low. You know, their overalls would be low, but they still have 1,000-yard receiving. So it'd make them kind of broken because then you'd re-sign these dudes for ridiculously low prices and still have the superstar on the team. So I like that. Custom draft classes, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how we can implement that right now. I like the idea of it. It seems cool to be able to draft real-life players in next year's draft. The real problem with that is that at the worst that I can see, like the best case scenario, I'll know what everybody's ratings are. That kind of creates an unfair advantage for me. So I don't know of a way we can right now use that and be fair to everybody yet. So I'm not sure that's something we can use. I like it's a cool concept. I'll probably use it in an offline franchise. But as far as a competitive 32-man franchise, I just don't know a way that we could use it fairly yet. Now, when we get it out, maybe there's a way. I just don't see it right now. What else is there coming out franchise?
You can make captains on your team, too.
That do absolutely nothing, so I guess you could put a patch on there. Cool. You can. You're right. So there's that.
They changed a couple things. I'm looking at it here on the computer screen.
Go ahead.
They removed from development. They removed slow, so there's no more slow.
They did do that. That's
normal, quick, star, superstar. You can no longer purchase traits like clutch or any of the traits. You can't purchase those anymore.
It's good.
Have to be given.
The thing I'm worried about that though, is if the rookies don't automatically come with it, can they not get these traits anymore? Or what traits can't you buy? Yeah,
I don't know. It literally just says light clutch. That's all it says. So next issue we witnessed last year, obviously they tried to fix overhaul regression system so players don't automatically lose ratings after a certain age. So we'll see what kind of job they get on that.
Let me clarify something on that they put out today. It said that not only if a player's playing good, they might not lose them as fast. Also, it said that not every position loses them. This is very similar to what we manually did last year, so it kind of makes me happy. We'll see how it works. Not every player starts regressing at the same age. So theoretically, like we did, linemen will regress later. Possibly. I don't know. Again, it sounds good until we see an implementation. But go ahead, Coach.
I think those are the quick bullet points. After that, it's talking about the offense and defensive scheme things that you kind of touched on. It's touching on the rookie things as far as XP. Remember when you used to be able to boost your rookie all the way up to 96? You can no longer do that. They did a old regression progress system, so that's gone. What else does it have here? Then it just goes on to talk about they made different positions now. There's a slot wide receiver position, actually assigned position as a slot. But outside of that, that's all it's really talking about here, at least on the franchise mode.
Yeah, and to be fair, those added positions, specifically slot corner and slot wide receiver, are going to be pretty big because for example, the Vikings, Adam Thielen is our number 2 wide receiver. The dude had over 1,000 yards. He's a monster. And in order, I can't put him in this year's Madden where I need him to be, which is a slot corner on 3 wide receiver sets, but an outside slot receiver on 3 wide receiver sets, but on 2 wide receiver sets, he stays on the outside. I can't do that in this Madden. He's either going to be a wide receiver number 3, or it sounds like if I can actually do what I need him to do this year, which is he's a slot corner on 3 wide receiver sets, but he's still the number 2 corner. Him and Diggs will be out there every game, as much as possible. And then if they go to 3 wide receivers, just bumps him inside, and it's going to put Quan or somebody else on the outside, whoever is my number 3 wide receiver. Sounds good. The slot corner is going to be huge too. Somebody like Casey Hayward can do what they did, which was play on the outside most of the game. But if you go in a nickel or quarters, they might be able to bump into the inside, which is something they did. Tyrann Mathieu, you can put him as a slot corner, and so theoretically, depending on how it works, sounds good. The pass rushing ends, not so much of a huge thing. The Vikings specifically use the same I'm going to put my best ends out on the field, whether it's a first down or a third down. So it's going to be Everson Griffin and Daniil Hunter mostly every play. So that's not really a huge thing to me. But so that's a lot of changes, more than we're used to getting. Let me reiterate. It's not a lot of changes, but it's a lot of changes for us in franchise mode. It's the most changes we've had in a very long time. They usually just add one feature and be like, man, all new revamped franchise mode. So what are your thoughts about these changes? Let's start with you, Country. What are you like these? Do you think this is in the right direction? What are your thoughts? Do you think this might be the only changes we get for like 40 years? What?
I think it's a step in the right direction. Hopefully they put a little more into it. It seems like Ultimate Team is usually the focus of all their changes, but I'm happy with the changes that we got, and I think they're going to be big. I'm excited about them.
No, they are changes. I hope that we can build on these to next season. I hope this is the start of a franchise overhaul. The director, I actually listened to his interview. Besides the fact that he said the word right about 7,000 times in that interview, and that drives me fucking insane. Like after every sentence, you're like, all right, so the franchise mode need to be changed, right? And the things that we need to change are really awesome, right? I'm like, shut up, dude. Stop saying the word right. But he said, despite the fact that he's a Mutt guy, his idea is to improve, instead of focusing on one mode like they do now, improving all modes. Where right now they focus on improving one mode heavily, he wants to improve every mode a little bit every year and improve. Which, in my opinion, you need to do that because you've abandoned us franchise guides for 4 years now, and now we get any sort of an upgrade, and so. But he did say that franchise guys are never happy too, so I don't know. BM, what are your thoughts on these new improvements? How do you think this is going to change the game?
It seems it's going to get better than the last couple of years of Madden because, player aggression and all that seems better. But I'm happy. Hopefully, Tom Brady doesn't retire after the first or second season. Plays out his contract. Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's already threatened to retire in real life. He ran Jimmy Garoppolo out of town, and now he's threatening to retire.
Well,
what's going on with that?
Bill Belichick's not going to be in the next game, so hopefully he just doesn't retire. There you go.
Oh, since Bill's not there, he's going to stay? Okay.
Yeah, he's going to stay.
All right, Coach. You actually run, again, you're not an NFL coordinator. You run a high school team, but some of these changes, how is this going to change the way you play the game? Because I feel like this is getting closer to what we do in real life. Specifically, I know you're not running the same ends out there every snap. You're switching out players a lot. Not every player goes in the same spot. How is this going to change to be a more realistic football approach in your eyes?
I'm really interested to see the defensive changes they made in the gameplay. You and I talked about this, I think, on one of the podcasts before, about the zone defenses and they cover and will just sit there by themselves and shit like that. And one of the improvements that one of the big improvements that they introduced a 4-2-5 defense, which surprisingly was not in 2018. But 4-2-5 defense coming into the game is basically a defense that defends first downs. I mean, it doesn't matter where your first down sticks are, 8 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, your defenders defend the sticks for the most part. So I think that's pretty interesting that you have that. I think they're at least the descriptions of what their cover 4 and cover 3 defenses take away is going to be a little bit easier for play calling, I think, as far as if you want to take away the flat, you'll be able to take away the flat that simply by just calling that defense. You won't have to call the flat and then watch your flat defender go back 15 yards. So hopefully
they do.
Yeah, hopefully that is a change. That's probably the biggest change I'm looking forward to. Because as you said, the defensive side of me, that's what I coach is defense. I love to see these type of changes and the adjustments that you can make. According to what it says, you can adjust real quick and put one defender on 2 or take away underneath to give over the top. So I think it'll make it a lot more of a chess match as compared to before. Because if I can just hot stick a guy and take away the slant every time, wow, it's going to change the way I can play defense.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, they're supposed to be revamped zones. They revamp zones every year. Purple zones specifically have been a problem for Madden for a while. Pretty much useless. The flat route, the flat zones, like you said, they drop back 15 yards. The drag's just wide open every play. When in reality, you see it in the NFL. You can't just run drags every play, though. You'll get lit the fuck up by some linebackers eating you alive.
Yeah,
one team that,
I mean, that's why they play linebacker.
yeah. You'll see that happen so much in Madden this year. So that's going to be, we'll see. I think man coverage, they haven't said anything about the improvements in man coverage. I feel like man coverage might be a little not good, especially with premier corners. Somebody like Xavier Rhodes and Patrick Peterson, the two guys I had, I should have been able to run man heavily and not get burned, but I'd still see these 73 overall fast guys just burn Xavier Rhodes when in reality, and Patrick Peterson when in reality, like, it doesn't matter how fast you are, you got to get off. You got to get off the corner first. You got to get away from them. If you're not going to get away from them, it doesn't matter.
It does say it's put a big emphasis on man coverage and zone coverage attributes for your corner. So guys that have a high zone rating are supposed to break on the ball once it releases from the guy's hand, from the quarterback's hand, if they're in his zone. Guys with high man coverage are basically, it says, will stay with man whole play. So we'll see.
Well, the only issue I think the main issue with man coverage is there's not a lot of jostling after the initial animation, and you'll see that in real plays where
if it's saying like it's reading, I could go to the number one corner and tell him hot route the slant, and he'll play the slant, and therefore he'll be in front of it the whole time in his man coverage. But then I'm giving away the go route. You know what I mean? Because that's what we're giving away when we take away the slant. So I think that puts a little bit more of that chess game into it. But, you know, like I know, they say a lot of things the month before it comes out. We'll see what they actually can get done.
I just hope, a 96 speed corner doesn't get beaten by a 89 speed guy. That happened to me twice. That happened to me twice last season. And it was Stephon Gilmore who got beaten.
I can tell you right now, that happens to corners in real life if the corner's playing the wrong technique. If the corner's playing a technique where he's sitting on a curl route, he's going to get burnt on the go. He's no matter how fast you are.
Yeah. And one thing that doesn't work in Madden, just play into that, is plays like the stop and go, which should be, if you're playing aggressive with your corners, should be a killer. You see a lot of aggressive corners, such as Marcus Peters had a terrible, one of his few weaknesses were stop and go routes. A lot of the Eagles defenders, they played a lot of aggressive because their front four was so good, so they were allowed to play aggressive. But if you actually did some stop and go routes on them, the statistics said that they got beat deep a little more than they should have. So something like that doesn't really work in Madden. That'd be nice if we can get to the point where that does. Because right now the stop and go out, they play the stop and then they play the go also, and it's like, well, that corner just, it's a useless route, Yeah. Another thing, I hope the player motion changes the way a few of these plays play out. I get really sick and tired of running a wide receiver bubble screen and watching the wide receiver do that stupid fall down catch animation. Like if you're gonna fall down, just bat the motherfucker down and don't lose me 5 yards. You know what I mean?
You got hands, man. You have to be on ESPN.
I just hope the quarterback doesn't overthrow some reason a wide open guy who's like probably 5 yards away and he overthrows him. Also,
that's another thing. Clint actually said in his interview. No, it's good. I was just bringing up to us another thing Clint actually said in his interview, that they don't have it in the game right now. This is the crazy thing. The Madden developers actually know the problems. He said that not every quarterback is accurate, but the way that quarterbacks are inaccurate are different. Sometimes they'll throw it behind the receiver, barely. They'll throw it in front of the receiver. Case Keenum was a good example of this last year. He played well, but a lot of his passes were behind the receiver, and Diggs and Thielen would have to make an adjustment to catch, and it cost them yards after catch because it wasn't on target, it wasn't in motion, it wasn't a good pass. They caught it because our receivers had ridiculous. They played ridiculous last year, especially Thielen, but Case Keenum was not on target a lot of those plays. Like Diggs would have to stop and wait for the pass a lot of times when you'd see nobody in front of him, things like that. And Clint actually said a lot of passes, they want to implement that, but it's not there, so they do this stupid 10 yards away from the receiver animation. And then you're throwing it straight to a defender. It looks like it doesn't even look like it's an inaccurate pass. It looks like you're throwing it to the safety.
To the other guy. It happens a lot on curl routes. It's like, what the hell?
Oh, my God, yeah.
My other thing was like when the running back will go up and then cut out kind of like to the line, like, go like towards out of bounds. And like you throw it and he'll just keep on running out of bounds. Even though like he's at the spot of the line, like, you can catch it right there and just keep on going down the field. But he'll just run out of bounds anyways.
Yeah. Like I said, the game doesn't – I think it's still on par with other video games. Now, I haven't played Madden 19 yet. I still think if you just play it based off of other video games, not other sports games, I think sports games are so far behind the curve in general because the fact that these exclusive licenses allow the game companies to keep them behind the curve. But obviously, I don't think it shows the amount of promise that a lot of other games would. So hopefully under the new direction, we can not only get ignoring the mutt, maybe we can get some new gameplay. The one thing that the new director of Madden said that I kind of liked, again, he's a mutt guy. It's hard to know where he's going to be going with this. He's definitely coming in from the live, what do they call it? The microtransaction side of things. That's why they brought him in but he said he wants to make a core game that's fun first. He says you can't have exactly. You can't have these live services. That's what they call it to make it sound less cheap. You can't have these live services if your core game isn't good, and he doesn't think the core game of Madden is good, which it's not. Anybody will tell you that. When you can't, like, coach as a high school coordinator, he should be able to use his high school concepts to a less, obviously it's not NFL quality offense he's playing, but he should be able to use the concepts. Coach probably understands the concepts of football better than anybody in our league. He should be able to use those core concepts and take away stuff and make it a chess match. And let's be real, Coach, are you there yet? Are you playing a video game or are you playing football concepts still?
No, I'm still playing a video game. I mean, there's a couple of guys in the league that you can concept-wise because they keep their playbooks pretty simple. But outside of it, the majority of the guys that we play here, it's a video game and trying to stop what they've learned how to take advantage of, honestly.
Yeah. And that's everybody to a certain degree, which even the best players, even me, I know, I don't try and abuse anything, but the fact is on third down, if I see your guy playing off, I know that out route's going to be a completion 100% of the time. And that sucks. Shouldn't be like that. I should not have a money play on third down. As a commissioner league, I do not use a same play every third down. I'll purposely use plays I've never used before on third down, just to see if I can complete it. But the fact is that if I wanted to complete a third down every time, there's a good chance I probably could. And that's not where we want to be as a game. I want to be confused as your defense. I want to be like, all right, I don't know how to, I want you to be like, all right, he's going to the outside, and you could go to the outside, and then you pick the shit off out of my corner route, Like, oh, he went to that a little bit too many times.
Yeah.
But
and I think I will say this. I think they make strides, even as small as they may be. I think they make baby steps each year, and we'll just see how it turns out. I think podcast week 1 will tell us a lot more than where we're at right now. Right now, it's all wrapped in candy and whistles. I remember being excited several years and then getting the game going, who the hell wrote that article and what the hell game were they playing? So
ID the mic is a good example. Like, I was thinking that was going to be something that was going to change the game. I could ID the mic. All right, this guy's going to come. He's going to blitz through, and all right, he's the one blitzing. I'll get my fullback. Hey, this is the only guy I want you to get. And you know what that fullback does? does not give a fuck. He lets that guy right through. Like, like that's something that sounds good in practice, and then you get in the game and it just doesn't work. Let's not all forget about the pass. What they call it? Pass precision passing this year. Oh my God, what a waste of time and resources that was.
I didn't even do that.
Yeah,
We outlawed it.
That feature either.
We outlawed it because we thought it might be cheesy. When in reality, I don't think it was just usable at all. I don't. Even the cheese guys don't use it. When the cheese guys don't abuse it, it's a terrible feature. Like, not a good feature. So, like Coach said, we're going to have to see when the game comes out. It all sounds good. We needed a revamped way people run. We needed to revamp franchise mode badly. It sounds cool, but when you get 32 users in a league, that changes everything. And honestly, until a developer gets in a real league, like I've extended out. I've actually hit up Clint before, and Rex Dixon. I've hit him up before. Like, hey man, I got leaks for if you want to play and actually see what you're putting out there. But of course, they never want to. But until they do, I don't think the changes will ever be able to be implemented correctly. So that's what they really need, is somebody that's been in leagues and understands the process. Because in franchise, we're still missing contracts, like front-loaded, back-loaded, even contracts, holdouts. We need holdouts in the game badly. Too many underpaid players just happily fucking playing, for $700K when they're a 97 overall player. Like, yeah, whatever, getting paid.
A rookie thing, like how Butler was like last season. If you wanted him with a trade, you gotta give us a pick or something like that. That'd be kind of cool thing to see.
Yeah,
I would love to see the rookie of the year, break every NFL record like he does, and then go ahead and have to sit out because we don't pay him real money.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
that's happened though.
Yeah,
that's happened. It's Chris Johnson did that. After his second year, he couldn't even get a new contract, and he was sitting out. Like, bro, you can't get a new contract. Why are you sitting out? Russell Wilson did something similar. His agent was talking about sitting out until they realized they couldn't. Like, you can't.
Look at the cover of Madden, like 2010, Peyton Hillis, when he had like the big year rushing, and then the next year he was like, "Yo, I don't have a new contract. Fuck it, I'll just fake an injury all season." And look at him now. Where is he? Nowhere.
Point being, we're missing the fifth-year option for players.
There's nobody playing this game for real life that is faking an injury. That I don't think that exists in today's real life world. I can promise you that.
He definitely didn't. He didn't have an injury. Even his goddamn, why I can't think the word. Even his manager said it.
I have to agree with Coach here.
But I'm just telling you, man.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
when you play this game, you know you're not playing this game for a long period of time. Every game could be your last game, and
yep, that's true. Ask Shazier about that one. But so we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully everything's good. The regression system, I don't want to. You can ask me and Rabbit. We don't want to go in there and have to fix that shit after every season. We really don't. I don't. But I also don't want players to be useless at 29 again. It's just sucks. It sounds good and all. We'll see how it is in actual practice. And other than that, we're not going to know. We still have 3 more articles coming out. Presentation, graphics, and ratings. So I'm sure we'll do another podcast here pretty shortly. I don't know which changes about presentation. From what I've seen, the release videos, nothing. The graphics supposed to be using the Frostbite engine to its max now, or whatever it's called.
Which is probably gonna look the same.
Probably.
Maybe different in the crowds, a guy here or there.
I would just like for my sidelines to actually have players on them now instead of just dudes wearing 71.
So wait, when
I remember last year,
were they going to jump in the crowd too for their celebration?
I don't know. They got to Rambo Leap, right?
Yeah.
I remember last year I was playing somebody and my coaches were on his sideline. I'm like, what kind of collusion ass shit is this? That
happened to me with my team. Like right after they got done to play, they walked to the sideline of the team and said, "I'm like, yo, they just definitely paid them."
That's the Patriots way, though. That's the
The team
Patriots
got
way.
paid to lose. That's what it was.
That's the Patriots way, man. He just went over there. But, all right, guys, I think that's about it for now. Anything you want to say before we go? Country Kane, what are your thoughts on the news so far in general? You excited for the next Madden?
I am. I'm excited. I mean, some change is better than no change, so it's a work in progress.
I can't disagree with that 100%. How about you, BM? You excited for the new Madden?
I'm excited. Hopefully, they do what they said, not like fucking back out or anything. So I am happy.
Okay. Coach, you are going to be 12th in the draft. You're going to have the last choice of team. What are your thoughts on the new? You excited for the new Madden still? Coach is gone. Coach is still upset about his 12th overall pick here.
Yeah, you can get the Redskins. Who's that quarterback now?
Alex Smith just signed to a major deal.
Oh yeah, never mind.
All right, guys. That's about it for us. We'll dip out. Coach has talked a lot anyway, so I'm sure he'll be all right. Let's hope Madden is what they promised it for once. All right. Hit y'all up later. Peace.